Did you know the average American chomps down at KFC about 25 times a year? That's basically inviting Colonel Sanders over for dinner twice a month, white suit, cane and all, just to serve you his secret recipe. But before you start daydreaming about that crispy, golden chicken, there's a little truth bomb you need to hear. Remember your health teacher's classic line, "You are what you eat." Well, if that's true, some of us might as well be walking talking deep fryers, sprinkled with 11 herbs and spices. Just last week I discovered a forgotten KFC drumstick hiding in my backpack. Wait for it. From 2 weeks ago. The scary part, it looked exactly like it did on day one. No mold, no funky smell. Meanwhile, my homemade chicken leftovers start turning into their own little science project after just 3 days. A regular piece of fried chicken at home, 5 or 6 ingredients tops. Chicken, flour, salt, pepper, maybe some buttermilk, if you're feeling fancy. KFC, on the other hand, reads like something straight out of a chemistry lab. We're talking dozens of additives, preservatives, and mystery seasonings that sound more like science experiments than cooking. Take their legendary original recipe. KFC guards it like it's Fort Knox. 11 secret herbs and spices sounds more like a clever marketing slogan than a decision made for your health. And even if the secret blend is hidden in some high-security vault, the actual ingredients used in the kitchens aren't so hush-hush. We're talking MSG, anti-caking agents, and hydrogenated oils, the kind of stuff that would make any nutritionist run screaming. And the chicken itself, often injected with a sodium solution to make it juicier, basically the industry's way of saying, here's salt water. A former employee revealed that the meat sometimes arrives pre-breaded, frozen and packed in massive bags, shipped from processing plants hundreds of miles away. The real recipe isn't about mysterious spices, it's about extending shelf life and keeping costs low. But what's truly impressive, and a little terrifying, is how consistent it stays. Every KFC, every state, same crunch, same flavor, same golden perfection. It's almost like they cloned the chicken. A friend of mine who worked in food manufacturing once told me something that stuck. The goal isn't quality, it's consistency. Every bite has to be identical, right down to the crunch of the breading. Real food doesn't work that way. Fry 10 pieces of chicken at home, and each one will have its own personality. One might be crispier, another juicier, maybe one slightly overcooked. KFC, it's like someone photoshopped a chicken leg, and then mass-produced it on a conveyor belt. And the sides? Don't get me started. Mashed potatoes that barely contain real potatoes. Gravy made from a powder packet. Biscuits that taste less like something baked and more like a chemistry experiment gone wrong. I once watched a KFC employee make the mashed potatoes by dumping boiling water into a tub of beige flake. The end product looked like spackle and smelled like cardboard with a hint of artificial butter. At home, real mashed potatoes require peeling, boiling, mashing, and seasoning. At KFC, it all starts as powder, goes into a bucket, and somehow comes out as comfort food. Their macaroni and cheese is another story. Orange goo over limp noodles, somehow simultaneously too salty and bland. It looks like comfort food, but forgets to deliver the comfort. The weirdest part, some of the menu's healthier options are actually worse for you than the classic. Take the chicken sandwich. Sounds simple enough, chicken, bun, mayo, but one sandwich delivers over 700 calories and almost 1,500 sodium. That's more than half your daily limit in a single meal. The pot pie with its buttery crust and creamy filling seems cozy and homemade, but it's one of the most calorie-dense items on the menu. Over 700 calories and more sodium than 3 servings of canned soup. A friend of mine tried the grilled chicken for a healthier choice. He figured no frying meant better. What he got was a piece of meat soaked in marinade, charred on the outside, and rubbery in the center. Sodium, nearly the same as the fried version. And speaking of sodium, one of KFC's medium sides, coleslaw, has more salt than a bag of chips. Coleslaw, that humble side your grandma used to make with cabbage, vinegar and a pinch of sugar. KFC's version tastes like it spent its life in a salt shaker. And then of course there's the legendary double down. 2 pieces of fried chicken, stuffed with cheese and bacon, no bun, just meat holding meat. The first time I saw it, I thought it was a prank. Then it hit me. They weren't joking. One of those double downs packs over 1,800 milligrams of sodium. That's basically the equivalent of licking a salt block on a farm and calling it lunch. But the real shocker, you'd think dessert would be the safe zone. Maybe a cookie, a slice of cake, something small. Nope. Their chocolate chip cookie, 15 grams of sugar in a single cookie. And don't get me started on the chocolate cake slice. Over 400 calories. That's like eating a candy bar, but with frosting piled on top. Sugar doesn't just live in desserts either. Take their honey barbecue sauce, over 10 grams of sugar in just one packet. That's more than a scoop of ice cream. Dip a piece of chicken into a few packets, and suddenly your lunch has become dessert in disguise. The psychology behind it is almost genius. KFC wants you to feel like you're indulging in real Southern cooking, love, tradition, home-style comfort. But the reality, it's a fast food version of a Southern meal, re-engineered, dehydrated, frozen, and reheated until it barely resembles anything from a real kitchen. My cousin from Georgia once said, KFC is to Southern food what reality shows are to real life. Spot on. Technically accurate, completely artificial, and those iconic chicken buckets? What used to feel fun, family-style nostalgic, now it's basically a calorie gauntlet. One 8-piece bucket has enough calories to feed a small village. Add a couple of sides and biscuits, and you're looking at over 3,000 calories more than most people should eat in a full day. Yet the marketing screams, family dinner bonding moment. Sure, everyone's bonding over indigestion. One friend even tried feeding his family only KFC for a week to save time and money. By day 4, his kids were begging for broccoli. The youngest flat out said, "Daddy, this chicken makes my tummy sad." Out of the mouths of babe. What started as a cheaper, faster option ended up costing more napkins, stomach medicine, and regret, all piled up. He jokingly declared he needed a detox vacation just to recover from the chicken. Then there's the meat itself. KFC claims to use high-quality chicken, but insiders tell a different story. Some locations reportedly use meat frozen for weeks, or even months, pre-seasoned, pre-breaded, pre-everything. It's less about fresh food and more about efficiency, consistency, and shelf life. By the time that chicken hits the fryer, it has gone through more processing than a passport application. One former employee told me it shows up in boxes already looking like chicken nuggets. We just drop it in hot oil and hope it comes out golden. That's not cooking, it's reheating with flair. The scariest part, most people have no idea what actually goes into that crunchy box. You might assume it's just chicken, flour, and maybe some secret spices. But take a closer look at the breading mix, and things get weird. Anti-foaming agents, texturizers, flavor enhancers, stabilizers, words so complicated you'd need a chemistry degree to pronounce them. One ingredient, sodium aluminum phosphate, is something normally found in industrial products like cement. At KFC, it's just part of the crunch factor. Then there's the oil, the magical potion that gives everything that golden brown color. KFC uses hydrogenated soybean oil, which is essentially a trans fat factory. Trans fats are notorious for being harmful and have been banned in several countries, heavily regulated in the US, yet traces still find their way into fast food. It gets worse. Some former employees claim the oil isn't changed daily. It can go several days depending on store traffic. That means your chicken could be swimming in oil that's already fried dozens of meals. That oil isn't just seasoned, it's ancient. And the package looks harmless enough. Smiling kernel, red and white stripes, paper boxes reminiscent of a church picnic. But notice how greasy the box gets. That's not condensation, it's oil leaking straight from the chicken. I once left a box of KFC on my car seat overnight. By morning, the grease had soaked through the box, through the paper bag, and left permanent stains on the upholstery. If your food is capable of wrecking furniture, maybe it's time to rethink what it's doing to your body. Then there's the marketing gimmick. Every few months, KFC releases some bizarre limited-time item, donuts as buns, popcorn chicken pizza, fried chicken wraps, drenched in nacho cheese. It's like a group of sleep-deprived college students designed the menu. These creations aren't made to taste good. They're made to shock, go viral, and grab headlines. They aren't food, they're publicity stunts, wrapped in bat. People line up, snap photos, post them online, like they just visited a museum exhibit. But once the cameras are off, they're stuck holding a sandwich that tastes like regret and sugar. Now let's talk drink. You walk in thinking you'll get a chicken meal with a small soda, but KFC's small is anything but small. One medium soft drink can pack over 60 grams of sugar. That's the equivalent of downing 2 candy bars and then wondering why you feel like a nap is mandatory. Meal upgrades are everywhere too. Want to make that large? Sure, for just $1 more, you can double your regret. This isn't upselling, it's nutritional sabotage dressed up as hospitality. Trying to outsmart the system with water. Good luck. Some locations barely display free cups, and when you ask, they hand you a cup that looks like it belongs in a dentist office. Barely enough to rinse your mouth, let alone quench thirst. It's basically a guilt trip pushing you towards soda. And then there's the infamous sweet. One serving has so much sugar it makes regular soda look like a health drink. I once tried calculating how much sugar was in a large sweet tea, and halfway through started questioning all my life choices. The marketing itself deserves a mention. KFC thrives on nostalgia, southern charm, and that folksy image of Colonel Sanders promising a homemade meal. But here's the catch. It isn't homemade, it isn't fresh, and it's not really southern anymore. The entire brand is owned by a multinational corporation that also owns Taco Bell and Pizza Hut. That's about as southern as a corporate boardroom in Manhattan. Commercials make it look like a grandma is lovingly preparing your dinner. The reality, a teenager is pulling trays out of a freezer while checking their phone. Then there's the occasional chicken shortage. Remember that fiasco? Some locations literally ran out of chicken. That's like a gas station running out of gas. When your supply chain spans continents and relies on just-in-time shipping, a single hiccup can grind everything to a halt. Customers showed up craving fried chicken and left with disappointment and maybe a biscuit if they were lucky. It got so absurd that one location actually hired a DJ to keep people distracted while the kitchen sat empty. I wish I were joking. And the strangest part? This has all become normal. We laugh about it. We expect the food to be greasy. We expect to feel sluggish afterward. We expect it to be unhealthy. And yet, millions keep lining up for more. But we keep eating it anyway, because it seems easy and cheap. That 8-piece bucket might be $20 today, but 20 years down the road, how much is that convenience really worth? The first few days were brutal. Cravings hit hard. Every billboard, every TV ad, Even the smell of frying oil from down the street felt like a siren call. His car even seemed to pull toward the KFC parking lot on autopilot. He had to physically steer away like avoiding an ex at the grocery store. By the end of the first week, changes started to appear. He stopped feeling bloated all the time. His skin cleared up. That weird film on his tongue after every meal, gone. Energy levels became steady instead of the usual spikes and crashes. He even slept better. The biggest difference, though, was mental. He realized how much of his eating was automatic. He wasn't hungry. He was bored, stressed, or just driving past a KFC, thinking, why not? That little why not had been costing him $150 a month, and slowly wearing him down with every bite. The numbers backed it up too. His blood pressure dropped 10 points. His doctor literally high-fived him. He lost 8 pounds without exercising more or counting calories, just from skipping one fast food chain. When the month ended, he thought about going back just one meal for old time's sake. He walked in, smelled that familiar fried air, and something strange happened. It didn't smell like food anymore. It smelled like chemicals, oil, and regret. He turned around and walked out. He said it was like visiting an ex and suddenly remembering, oh right, this is why we broke up. That's the power of taking a break. It resets your taste buds, clears the fog, and lets you actually see what you're eating, not what the commercials want you to believe. Those commercials are good. They show slow-motion golden brown chicken, steaming biscuits, glistening coleslaw. But the truth isn't in the ads. It's in how you feel afterward. The sluggishness, the heartburn, that sinking sense that maybe the bucket of chicken wasn't such a brilliant idea. This isn't about shame. It's about awareness. Understanding what you put into your body. It means someone figured out how to sell comfort food in a box with a logo. One nutritionist I spoke to summed it up perfectly. Fast food doesn't just satisfy hunger. It feeds habits. It rewards your brain with salt, fat, and sugar in exactly the ratios that make you want more. That's not cooking. That's engineering. They aren't trying to nourish you. They're trying to hook you. Every crunch, every bite, every golden drumstick is designed to make your brain light up like a pinball machine. Even the slogans play into it. Finger licking good. It isn't about the ingredients. It's about how it makes you feel for 3 fleeting minutes before the food coma hit. And when the novelty fades, you're left with a bag of bones, an empty cup, and the quiet whisper of your digestive system, asking, why did you do this to me? I once asked a former KFC manager how he felt about the food now that he no longer worked there. He paused and said, honestly, when you see how it's made every day, it changes you. I haven't eaten it since I left, and I used to love it. That says it all. But let's be clear, KFC isn't the only culprit. Eating fast food without thinking means giving away more than money. You give away awareness and the power to choose what truly serves you. Here's a challenge. Make your own fried chicken at home. Real chicken, real flour, real oil. It'll take longer. It'll be messier. But it will taste better. It will feel like real food again. Not a product, not a brand, not a greasy box with disappointment on the side. Made with intention, not instructions. Or go simpler. Roast a chicken, slice fresh vegetables, toss a salad, without drowning it in sugary dressing. Strip away the packaging and marketing. And food should be something that gives to your body, not takes away. Something that fuels your day, not drains your energy. KFC will always have a place in our culture. For some, it's tied to memories, Sunday dinners, family road trips, or that one Thanksgiving when your uncle brought a bucket because he forgot to cook. And that's okay. But memories don't have to dictate your habits. You can cherish something without needing to relive it every week. So next time you're driving past that red and white sign, ask yourself one simple question. Is this what I really want? Or is this just what I've been trained to crave? There's a big difference between true hunger and habit. One nourishes your body. The other feeds a billion-dollar industry that depends on you not asking questions. If you've made it this far, congratulations, you're already more informed than most people in the drive-thru line. What you do with that knowledge is up to you. But make it a real choice, not autopilot, not a comfort reflex, an intentional conscious choice. Because when it comes to food, you deserve better than a reheated drumstick and a clever slogan. And if you still crave that fried chicken flavor, take back the recipe, your kitchen, your ingredients, your rules. You might not have 11 secret herbs and spices, but at least you'll know what's going into your body. That's worth more than any value meal ever sold. Colonel Sanders may have had a charming smile, but your body will thank you for not falling for it.